So what can we do for reading here? Obviously, there's a couple things. One, you change the size. You can change the size of the font here to make it easier to read. And this is just something we're going to ask students to read and respond to. But what's simpler for reading is down here, is if to increase the size of it. And one of the rules I've kind of always gone by, so just so it doesn't overlap onto another page. The other thing that makes reading a little bit easier is the background. There's some research about the look of that. You come to review, and you can start to change or actually the view starts to change the background on it. And so, you come down to page layout, and right here under page color, you can start to soften the colors a little bit. And just watch your eyes now, how much softer your eyes go. Some of these colors, look what happens when I go to yellow, and even back to white. So this is what they're going to find even in pages of books and things you want students to read. If you soften the colors, it makes it a little easier to read. The other thing, of course, you can do with background is you can, you get these different things. You can have more radiant things, even to the extent of these fill effects, where you can have do kind of different funky things. But also, what's cool is you can bring a picture in here. And so let's just see what that might look like if you brought a picture in here. Let's bring a little Jaxie in here. Okay. And there it kind of cascades, and that's a little hard to read, but you kind of get the picture. You can to bring in whatever you want in the background, and I don't know why you do that unless you're specifically working on something, or a number of different things that may be of benefit to the student. But for now, let's just go to just the color here. Okay. And so what else can we do? Well, we can just double space. You want something easier to read for students, you go back to the home, and you can literally make this, there's 1.5 here. 2 is a nice 2.5. This gets to be too big, but again, for tracking, give them more space to do it. And of course, we can soften this a little bit too. I like this darker blue text. But whatever, if you're, again, this is for reading on something you're going to read on the computer. If you print this, you just get regular. This is for computer type reading. And the other thing, of course, you can do is highlight certain things. For example, if there's something you want them to specifically to pay attention to, you can highlight that word like this. And you can pick different things, or however you want to do it. So those are some things that may make it easier to read for them. What else can we do with this? One of the things that we can do is do some finding and replacing. So you're on your home screen here and so we're going to come down here to replace and just watch what happens on replace here. So for example, I want to find, I'm going to make this a little easier to read. So wherever there's one space, I hit the space bar once, I'm going to replace it with 2 spaces. And just watch what happens now. Again, it just makes it a little easier to read if they're tracking, and that may or may not be of use to you or to them, but that is a possibility. And so what else could we want to do? Well, let's do this. Let's just say we're working on the A sound. So wherever there's an A, we'd like it to be pointed out. So we can format and say we're going to go with a highlight, and we're going to replace this with an A, but this time we're going to, change it to a color, and so we should be able to do like this. All here, and I'm going to do it by highlight. It says highlight, and I want it to be yellow, and then I'll see there. So there's all my A's here, and just to pay attention to them. Or let's say specifically we're looking for, instead of this, let's, I think we can do this like this, just undoing it. But instead, let's go like this. Let's replace all, wherever there's an OI sound, let's replace that with OI, with the yellow. Again, we just want to point that out to the student. Okay. And that comes into play. So that's how you could teach that. And so those are just some things that I would like you to do with this, is point out a couple things, change the way it looks, and then submit this in your wiki. Okay, this is the different views and panes. Again, background and color. Some other things. Let's make sure this whole thing is defaulted to the left here instead of center. Sometimes it's to the center. Let's go to the left. Also, the other things you can put in here is a watermark if you want. And to show the watermark, you have to have it in the print layout. And once we get there, you can go to page layout and go to a watermark. And of course, you can go like this behind it. But how about this? Let's make a custom watermark. And so instead of that, you can change this. Again, we can bring a picture in if we want. And I'm not sure when you do this unless it would be applicable to the student. But you could do that if you wanted to. Here's one. Okay. And that may be of service for whatever reason, but you can get that look. And of course, the thing that's fun about the custom is you can do all kinds of things. You can do scale here, like you can do it real big if you want, however you want to do that. And you'll decide the place for time for those. But let's say instead we're just going to come down here, and let's put a little message here like this. Please submit. And you can charge whatever you want here in size. Let's just say we're going to make it a 54 here and see what that looks like. Okay, please submit here, but maybe more. Let's say I'll go back to our custom, and let's say you can take this off, but we could make this 100. I think it gives you some flexibility for that. As you see, it jumped up here. And so what I'd like you to do is put a watermark behind this also, please. But you can have whatever text you want here. You literally can have a different color here, and you may want that if you have your background a different color. You may want it to come in like that, but again, it's in the background. All right.